The man suspected of kidnapping and murdering an Indian-origin Sikh family, including an 8-month-old baby, in U.S. has pleaded not guilty. Jesus Salgado allegedly kidnapped the family at gunpoint from their trucking business. He has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances. If convicted, he could spend his life in prison without the possibility of parole. Several UK citizens looking to visit India have been forced to postpone or cancel their trips. This comes after visa agents in the country received notices that they could no longer apply for tourist visas on behalf of the applicant. It is aimed at preventing travel agents from illegally charging fees to get visas processed. Lawmakers in Iraq on Thursday elected Abdul Latif Rashid as the country's new president, paving the way for the formation of a new government and ending the year of deadlock after October 2021 election. Soon after being elected, Rashid named Mohammad Shia al-Sudani as PM. Thursday's vote took place shortly after at least 9 rockets landed around Baghdad's Green Zone. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $965 million in damages to families of 8 Sandy Hook school shooting victims and an FBI agent after falsely claiming for years that the 2012 massacre was a hoax. The families and the agent, who had responded to the attack, had sought at least $550 million in the defamation trial in Connecticut. UK Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng has been fired by PM Liz Truss after less than 6 weeks on the job, multiple reports said on Friday, amid market unrest over the government's massive tax cuts. Kwarteng became the UK's shortest-serving Chancellor of the Exchequer since 1970. The UK will now elect its 4th finance minister in as many months. At least 5 people, including an off-duty police officer, were killed in an active shooting incident in the U.S. state of North Carolina on Thursday. A police officer and 1 other person were shot and suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A suspect behind the incident, described as a white juvenile male, was taken into custody hours after the shooting, police said. Jury has recommended Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz, 24, should face life in prison in U.S. deadliest high school shooting. Jurors decided that while aggravating factors existed, they didn't outweigh mitigating circumstances of his mental health, therefore they couldn't recommend death penalty. Cruz killed 14 students and 3 staff members at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in February 2018. The governor of a Russian border region, Belgorod, has accused Ukraine of shelling an apartment building and blowing up an ammunition depot. No one was hurt in the attacks, Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov added. Meanwhile, Ukraine has denied Moscow's claim and said Russia had launched a missile toward Ukraine's Kharkiv city, but something went wrong and it hit the residential building. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the goals of Russia's special military operation in Ukraine remain unchanged, but they can be achieved through negotiations. It takes 2 sides to have a dialogue. As the West is now taking a very, very hostile stance towards us, it's unlikely that there will be any such prospect in the near future, he added. Repairs to the bridge linking southern Russia with the annexed Crimean Peninsula will be completed by July 2023, a document published on the Russian government's website said. The bridge was damaged in an explosion last Saturday. Russian President Vladimir Putin blamed Ukraine's special services for the Crimea bridge blast and called it an act of terrorism. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on Thursday said the military alliance will not be intimidated by Russia's nuclear threats. Russia's nuclear rhetoric is dangerous, reckless, and they know that if they use a nuclear weapon against Ukraine, it will have severe consequences, he added. Stoltenberg also said that NATO will very closely monitor Russia's upcoming annual nuclear exercise. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Marit Kuznelin announced that the country would provide free accommodation to residents of the Kherson region who want to evacuate to Russia. The announcement came after Russia-backed leader of Kherson, one of the Ukrainian regions annexed by Russia, asked the Kremlin to organize evacuation. The request came after Ukrainian forces began counteroffensive in Kherson. A Turkish lawmaker smashed his mobile phone with a hammer while speaking in parliament. Burak Erbey, a member of the opposition Republican People's Party, was protesting against a proposed government-backed bill that aims to combat online disinformation. As per the legislation, journalists and social media users could be jailed for up to 3 years for spreading fake news. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said that he had placed Belarus in a state of heightened terrorism alert because of tensions on its border with Ukraine. Lukashenko linked the decision to an announcement in which he ordered Belarusian troops to deploy with Russian forces near the southern border. "Everything is going according to plan," Lukashenko added. The U.S. has accused Saudi Arabia of pushing other OPEC+ nations into the decision to cut oil production target. The U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said more than one OPEC member disagreed with Saudi Arabia's decision and felt coerced into vote. The Saudi Foreign Ministry can try to spin or deflect, but the facts are simple, Kirby added. Dutch Crown Princess Catharina Amalia is under heightened security due to concern that she could be targeted by criminals. The 18-year-old began studying at the University of Amsterdam last month and had moved into an apartment in the city, but her parents revealed that concerns for her safety have forced her to move back to the Royal Palace in The Hague. South Korea scrambled fighter jets after 10 North Korean military aircraft flew close to the border dividing two countries, South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement. The North Korean aircraft were flying 25 kilometers north of the military demarcation line. The statement added that South Korean Air Force conducted an emergency sortie and maintained a response posture.